I think over the years, looking at my own life, I define success is overcoming one's own limitations, barriers, and weaknesses.
Welcome to Teague Talks. Today we're sitting down with a gentleman, HP Rama, who truly embodies the American dream and the success story in our hospitality industry. A man who came over with just ambition and a little spirit in his eye and turned it into one of the most successful hotel companies in the industry. HP, thank you for taking the time to sit down with us and tell your story. How old were you when you came here?
So I came at age 21. Frankly, I was born in Africa, raised in India, in a small farming village. Finished my undergraduate. Then I came to pursue my MBA at Xavier University, Cincinnati. And then after graduating, before graduating, I worked as a waiter in Howard Johnson restaurant in Manhattan. And that's how I was introduced to hospitality industry. And after that, I worked as a staff accountant in Brooklyn, New York. I quit the job in 14 months. That is the only time I worked for somebody. And then I bought the first motel in Pomona, California at age 25 with $8,000 that I saved from my work. And also JP, my brother, sent me $4,000 out of that $8,000. So that is how we started JHM Hotels. JHM Hotels is initial of three original brothers that came in America, Jayanti, Manhar, and Hasmukh. So that's how we formed the name of the company, JHM Hotels. So I committed to buy first property with $30,000 cash down payment, and seller financed the rest of the mortgage. I had to borrow $22,000 to buy my first motel. So I called my friends and relatives. Somebody gave $500. Somebody gave $1,000, but my MBA classmate, his father, non-related to me, gave me $5,000 to buy my first motel. This is how I started my American dream without knowing anything about hotel business. I think I was accidental hotelier, not knowing anything because I was MBA. So I did not go to hotel school to learn the hotel business. So that is how we started over the years. My second property, I traveled throughout the country from Arizona to Texas to Louisiana to Georgia. I traveled 2 years to buy my second property. As an MBA, you decide the called strategic decision to acquire a property. Less down payment, great property, great social setup, living, high return, and franchise hotel. When I bought my second property, all those criteria that we use as MBA learning was thrown out of window. I bought 36-room motel in Buffalo, Tennessee. Population 50 people. In middle of nowhere on Interstate 40 60 miles west of Nashville, Tennessee. And that's how we bought the second property. Fortunately, that property was always 100% occupancy by 5 p.m. So that's how we start building equity for the next hotel that we need to buy. And then from there, the real change came when we started looking at property, the third and fourth. We wind up in Greenville, South Carolina, a property that was repossessed by the bank. It was a 100-room property called Camelot Inn. It was not making money. It required a lot of tender loving care, we call it. And I had JP moved there from California. We were in California. We worked 24/7. In the first motel, we had only 2 employees. We did everything. MP joined. He did the maintenance. JP did the purchasing and keeping up the front desk. And I was hunting for second motel. The real learning came from this property that we acquired, that how you can buy a depressed, a turnaround situation and make disproportionate return on your investment. Our property, the second one, was not a big rocket science because whatever the weakness of a seller, if we know how to overcome their weakness and add to our relevant ecosystem that customer expect. And that's what we did. They had black and white TV. We put color TV. There was a satellite TV coming in. We put a big satellite TV disc, if you can look at it. and I learned a lot of things from brands. So the brand was giving a newspaper and free continental breakfast. So I started that in the Camelot Inn here in Greenville, 100-room property. And instead of giving newspaper in the morning, I used to give in the evening. Because people come from work, they have more time. In the morning, they look at it and throw in the garbage. And we started with coffee, donut, and juice in the lobby. And that's how I learned from brand how to use the brand learning. And we didn't have any brand at that time.
Right.
So how do you learn from hospitality? Different brands have a different uniqueness. And that uniqueness we brought into the company. In 1984, we first built from ground up a Hampton Inn, which was one of the 20th probably in the system in Augusta, Georgia. And that is how we started building new property from ground up. However, we have 2 tracks of growth in the company. One is acquire property, which require total repositioning. Those property were undercapitalized, undermanaged, undermarketed, and not keeping up with the competition. We bought those properties, turned around. We had very good success in doing that over the years. Over the years, we have bought and or built more than 110 hotels. It so happened that we will acquire in bad times and we will build in good times. And that strategy really worked for us over the time. We always use our own equity. So we were working with our own decisions and depending on our own sweat and efforts we put to create the profits, equity, and build our net worth. So we are more driven by creating net worth in long run rather than creating I call fast growth without having a stake in it. So we always have invested in properties acquired or built with our own money, internally generated money. We were able to do that because we bought turnaround properties. And we were able to build new property from that turnaround cash flow.
I love this story already, and I'm so glad that we doing this. Thank you, because I think your story resonates. It resonated back then. I think it still resonates today. So let's keep going. One, what were the first brands that were when you were coming along? Your first one was a Hampton, but that's when there was Days Inn with Mike Levin, Surat, and Motel 6s.
Actually, that was to build from ground up.
Right. Yes. What was your first?
However, the first brand we had was Quality Inn in Nashville, Tennessee. I bought 113-room property. 24 rooms were burned. They didn't have even doors in them. And I repositioned that property and made it Quality Inn. Then I converted to Days Inn. And that's how I got introduced to Days Inn and especially Mike Levin.
Yes.
And it has been a great relationship with Mike personally and professionally that we were able to build together Asian American Hotel Owners Association.
What year was that?
It was 1990. 88, 89 we first met. What prompted me to do that is I was traveling on Interstate 75 and I saw on a billboard says American owned and operated. I was in Commerce, Georgia, and I see a marquee which says American owned and operated. I was in Hot Spring, Arkansas, and Yellow Pages. I see American owned and operated. And I said, why they are putting this? So I did some investigation of it. It was advertising to lure the business away from Asian-owned hotel operators to American-owned hotel operators. So it's a marketing gimmick that was there. However, coming from African background, knowing what they have done to Indians in Africa, I felt that if American traveling public start believing in this, we will be out of business, Asian American. So I said, we need to do something. So I was just meeting Mike Levin. He understood my plight.
Everyone, Mike Levin was the president of Days Inn.
Yeah.
He was Jewish.
Yes.
One of the original salesmen and presidents to bring franchising, in my opinion, to the hotel space.
Yes.
Before it was done.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Marriott didn't really franchise. Hilton didn't really exist. They had big boxes. That's it. Holiday Inn was the one that was kind of around.
Everybody.
Right? But Mike Levin was instrumental in growing that business.
Absolutely.
And then instrumental in helping you found AAHOA.
And then he did his own investigation within his company. And he found that there was a stereotype, bias opinion about Asian hotel owners in this industry and country. And he found in his own company that existed. So he took that as his mission, because he, not realizing that he also faced same thing while growing up. And I didn't know till a lot later years that he mentioned to me that, HP, I know what you told me. Why? Because why I took this as a mission of mine also, that when we travel from Boston to New York, Florida, I used to see the marquee which says, Jews and dogs not allowed. So he was having that in his back of the mind, and he understood very quickly what I was talking about, and he willingly helped with days in being a president, he supported financially to have first get-together convention in Atlanta. What is most important out of this is that our mission as AAHOA, as an association, was to remove discrimination, bias, and stereotype that existed in the lodging industry at that time. And Mike opened the doors for Asian hoteliers through AAHOA engagement. And now we are a force to reckon with. We have more than 65% of all hotels in America owned by Asian American hoteliers. What is most interesting is that most of them are accidental hoteliers. Also, they are sons and farmers from India with no background, no capital, poor communication skills. But they had courage, tenacity, and faith to create their own success. And that is how the AAHOA became more growing, also has a place in lodging industry. And we now don't have, fortunately, any bias, discrimination, and what you call stereotype thinking, because this also affected the banks to lend, vendors to do business with us. So it was not just a hotel brand not having faith in Asian hoteliers, but it was also ecosystem who are the players of lodging industry. They also have that mindset that these are accidental hoteliers. So one of the first things we did in AAHOA is to create an educational platform so that from accidental hotelier that we also promote to be a professional hoteliers. And that's how I got introduced during my tenure as the chairman and working in AAHOA to many hotel schools in this country. And that's how I got introduced. And it was from day one my interest in education. So I was invited to be part of many hotel schools as a trustee, board of advisors. In fact, when I became, I wanted to also build that we took care of the Asian hoteliers and to secure the proper place in lodging industry. But also I wanted to build a bridge to the mainstream lodging industry. And because of that, I stood to serve in American Hotel and Lodging Association. And I was unanimously elected, unopposed, and I became chairman in 1999 of AHLA. And that also create creditability for all Asian hoteliers, because I was a poster boy.
Yeah.
And I have to meet who is who of lodging industry. People ask me, what is the source of inspiration and who is your mentor and who is your guide to your life professionally and even spiritually is them. What it does is that when you have spiritual base, you are able to face the challenges of life easier and better. But without that, you always have a challenge to depend on others, and others have their own challenges. They may add to it or they may clear a little way, but at the end of the day, you as an individual has to address your own challenges. And that's where their philosophy helped me, even to manage a family business. We are 5 brothers, each is strong personality. How do you manage each personality?
Tell me what it was like working with the five brothers.
Each one had a different talent. JP used to be in charge of purchasing and writing checks. In my life, I have never written checks. I was in charge of legal, real estate, development, and most of the time I acted like CFO from banking point of view, from acquisition finance point of view. Now we have the whole infrastructure, but I'm talking about 25 years ago, we didn't have that infrastructure.
Yep.
One brother was civil engineer, so he was in charge of construction. One brother was MP was a civil engineer, so he was in charge of construction. I had one brother called DP Rama, Dino Rama. He was architect, brilliant architect. So he was working in new hotels or repositioning hotels, but everything, space planning to effective cost, value engineering to everything. And then one brother was more into technology. So he was in that, RP was in technology. So we were able to harness each one's background and experience without interfering in each other's job. So that created I call, leave me alone and I'll do my job. And that worked. So I have one this philosophy, being the leader of business and of family business, that each one needs to be given a space to operate.
Again, I can remember as a young kid growing up in the industry, and Dad, Bob Hunter, starting the conference, part of that same time period. But I can remember you guys starting AAHOA and getting it going, and with Mitt's dad, Bharat, and with Jay's dad, and with all those your friends at the time.
Absolutely.
And somewhere in there was competitors, interestingly enough, but you guys running around together saying, this is bigger than us. We need to grow this industry. Here's what we need to do.
Absolutely. And it created actually a platform for networking among Asian hoteliers.
Yeah.
It also created a platform to learn from each other. It also created a platform to become partner with each other. And we have done that. And many are doing even today.
What's your advice for families to work together? I'm putting words in your mouth, that everybody's got to find their path and their role and feel like a part of the team to the best of their abilities and to their passions.
I think the most important in family business is having a broad heart understanding. You should put your own personal preference, your ego in the back pocket. I tell our second generation that if you want to grow in life, you will need partner. Now, who is a better partner than the one that you know everything about? That means your family members. But it's up to them how to choose. Because I have this belief that if two unknown people can work in a company with no background or connection of culture or belief system, how come sibling of same parents, family cannot work together? That was one thing overriding my thinking and approach about joint family. Now, how come we cannot make it work? Why it should be difficult? Because I always hear that you cannot work with family. So we may be applying a different criteria to work with family versus somebody who is working outside of family within the company. Those criteria should not be different, should be same, approach to it. So it is not about rights versus duties. It's about what I can do to help. With that attitude, the family can work together.
What do you see for the third generation?
The third generation, in my opinion, is further distant from second. Second is a little bit distant, but third generation will be even more distant because they are born and raised. I went to a school walking, high school for about 4 miles every day to the high school. And Keval went into Mercedes to a high school. So now you see the expectation and the ecosystem in which they are living.
Yeah.
So that will influence them.
Keval grew up with you.
Yes. He grew up, unfortunately, last 25 years, I was too much outside of Greenville, building business in India, university.
Mm-hmm.
So on average, I am out 5.5 months from US. In 90s and early 2000, I calculated how many days I slept in my own bed. No more than 150 days. So to give you a little perspective that how much I can spend time with them.
That's not a lot.
No, it's not.
Do you think you might have been better served being at home a little more? Or no, you had better things to do?
Well, that depends on their aspiration.
Yeah.
If they don't want to learn something, they are missing out.
Mm-hmm.
I advise the second and third generation that it took hard work, dedication, and certain values that created platform for second and third generation. Now, if you don't recognize it and don't respect that, you are missing out.
How do you instill the, I'm going to use the word grit, that you clearly had in that I'll jump to third generation? Like stealing, like, I can imagine, my kids can't imagine, Keval probably can't imagine, leaving his family to go to a strange foreign world with $2 in their pocket. But that, the same internal, whether it's confidence or grit or scared, all of the above, that allows you to make that leap is also what allowed you to be successful, I think. And here we're Americanized and we're soft and we drove to school in Mercedes and everything's sort of here. So how do you instill that?
I think they should go to the school of Fort Knox. They have to be exposed to reality of the life. That's why we encourage, including Keval, to go to India, see the poverty, see how people survive in India, in that ecosystem, so they will pick up something from there. So hopefully they will start respecting the value of money, comfort, luxury. Fortunately for us, Keval is more conservative than his dad. So I'm not worried about the third generation. I cannot wait till he becomes CFO of our company. I told DJ also. I told him 5 years ago that I want him to be CFO of the company because he knows the value of money. So he's very good. So there are two things, preserving money and growing the money. The both are required. Both are required. Because money in your pocket is not lost. Creating money is not that easy.
We're going to talk for everybody. We're going to talk to Keval later. Hold on. But I'm curious, what would your definition of success for Keval be? What would you like to see?
I think over the years, looking at my own life, I define success is overcoming one's own limitations, barriers, and weaknesses. The speed with which you overcome your personal limitations, barrier, and weakness, and they could be either mental, psychological, emotional, physical, financial, irrespective of station in life that we are living, you will be able to find a way to move forward.
HP, this is fantastic. I'm really, really glad we have done this. So thank you for sitting down with me.
Thank you.
This is
Appreciate
better.
it.
This is better than I could have expected.
Thank you.
So thank you for sharing your knowledge and wisdom with all of us. And now that we talked about family a lot, should we bring in the second and third generation?
Absolutely, bring them.
All right, let's do it. Come on, fellas. Come on. Keval,
Teague.
thank you for being here.
Yes.
PJ,
How you doing, man?
Thank you,
Good
sir.
to see you.
Thank you. Thank you
Excellent.
for bringing the master in.
Absolutely. The Godfather's here. You brought everybody together.
This is what we're doing. This is the hotel industry, everybody. This is what we do.
I'm so glad that you're doing this 3 generations at the same time.
Me too. Just for you, HP. Just for you.
Appreciate that.
Everybody, please. Please, please. Guys, thanks for being here. I'm really excited to do this. HP did great. Big shoes to fill, fellas. Intros for those who don't know. DJ Rama, Auro Hotels, Keval Rama, Auro Hotels. Great uncle, granddad, dad, grandson, family business. Family's amazing to me, amazingly important to me. I know it's important to you guys. DJ, we've had a conversation a lot. So I'm honored to have you guys come sit and do this with us. It's fantastic.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Big shoes, hot seats coming. You and me got this. But for all of you, you're going to have to wait. Stay tuned and keep an eye out for episode 2 coming soon.